each other, being like, yo, back off, Aaron's ours, and Gabby's like,
okay.
AoA, that's a triple play. New episodes, I couldn't wait. Yeah. Open your mind at the first gate. Press play, no need to debate. AoA, check me out. Look, clocked in, you can catch the hype. Golden Dawn, how we follow the light. Anime like life, married to it, my wife.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages? Welcome back to the AoA show. I'm your host, as always, Ian, along with the boys Isaiah.
Ohio.
And Gavin.
What is Gucci shoes?
And today we're talking Attack on Titan episode 7, episode 66 in total. This one was called Assault. And an assault it was. There was a lot of things going down in this episode, a lot of Titan fighting and the scouts going all over the place. Armin makes an appearance. It's craziness, and we're really excited to talk about it, and hopefully you guys are excited to listen. So if you do like this video, make sure you guys are liking the video so we know you like it. If you're new here, subscribing to the channel, hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any future discussions or videos on the channel. Make sure you guys are sharing with your friends, because the more the merrier, and commenting your thoughts down below. What did you think of our discussion today? What did you think of this episode in particular? What are your thoughts on Attack on Titan as a whole? Do you think it did justice this week? I personally think it did, but that's my spoiler alert. Also, make sure you guys are checking out AoA Reacts, where we have posted our reaction video to this episode, so you guys can catch the unfiltered ridiculousness that ensues every time that we watch an Attack on Titan episode. It's a lot of fun.
The episode is filtered, just not us.
Yes, exactly.
Heavily filtered.
A lot of fun, though.
Point where you can't see it, but it's okay.
Definitely want to go check it out. And subscribe to that channel so you don't miss any future live reactions. But anyway, hopping into this discussion. Wow. So where do we start, man? So Peak comes and saves Porco's ass, which, you know, we kind of knew was coming, because it was like, as much as the adrenaline pumping awesomeness of Levi and the scouts and everyone kicking ass, they can't win that easily. Otherwise we don't have a show, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, Aaron just gobbled them all up in a second. Like, there's got to be a fight to it. And you know how anime time works. It's like 1 second is like 10 million. It's this whole thing. But anyway, Pete comes in, blows people away in that one part. And I have to say, Peak, just in general, talking is something that I never knew I didn't want until I heard it happen. And then I was like, okay, drop all the other Titans for like who needs to die first. Like, this Titan needs to die. Because I'm like, this Titan is freaking terrifying, dude. Like, all the other ones aside.
Which one should we kill first? And they're like all going through what they can do, and Peak's like, look, and you're like, oh no, kill it. Oh, no. Oh, you gotta
get that thing out of here, dude.
That one, hit it with everything we got.
Dude, for real, it's freaking scary. That thing
was pretty unsettling.
The Card Titan talking is a scary thing indeed. Again, we see that Porco is someone who is just, again, not experienced when it comes to not necessarily war, because, you know, we've seen that he's gone through the last 4 years of the war with the Eastern country that they've been fighting, but specifically when it comes to the scouts and Titan on Titan combat, you know, when it comes to this thing, he just hasn't been around the block, and it's clearly shown. I mean, Porco's a little hot-headed as it is anyway, someone who's ready to dive right into the action, and obviously this is something that bites him in the ass later. But it was interesting, again, hearing Peak and how relevant she is, except maybe after this episode, but you know, using her abilities. But one thing I wanted to briefly talk about, unless there's anything else before that I'm missing or you guys wanted to bring up, was this whole thing with Zeke, right? We were talking about this in our reaction, so maybe it's a little redundant, but I figure the people that just watch our discussions, it's an interesting talking point, and I'm curious to hear thoughts in the comments down below, provided you're not spoiling anything. I'm under the theory here that I believe that Ezekiel, or I keep calling him Ezekiel, Zeke, is maybe not working with Levi per se, but has some sort of ulterior motive that is being fleshed out. And I don't know if he's, you know, in cahoots with Levi in some way, or if it's that he's intentionally trying to get captured from Levi, or whatever the case is. But things just aren't adding up for me here, especially when he comes strolling into the middle of the town, starts messing people up with the rock slinging and all that kind of stuff. But then when it comes to them being like, hey, you got to get Aaron, he's like, Aaron's not my enemy. Like, I'm here for Levi, which, fair enough. Like, he kind of embarrassed you the first time around, so I could see why you would be holding a bit of a grudge here. But Zeke doesn't strike me as someone who is stupid, for lack of a better term. He is the commander of their Titan forces, after all, and has some incredible abilities and cognitive power there. So you wouldn't think, or at least I wouldn't think that, you know, that grudge would hang up the whole operation here, right? Like, if it comes to his life being in the balance or the life of, you know, his people. But so it's interesting that he does that, and then he shouts out to Levi, and he goes, "You're running out of time." And we see Levi with a stopwatch there. So that was something interesting. And then Levi just kind of dismantles the Beast Titan with, like, not even a fight. It was like drops immediately. Now, I know we had a couple different theories running around on what it is, and I know we talked about that, so I don't want to bore people to death with the same conversation. But I'm curious if A, you think that Zeke has some sort of ulterior plan, or he just got, or even if he doesn't, if you think he's alive, and what he does with Levi or Levi does with him, or vice versa. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that, if anyone has any.
So I think that while I don't think it, like, somebody like Zeke might have been like, hell or high water be damned, like, I'm gonna settle this score with Levi at any cost, I do think, like, that disgusting, embarrassing defeat, like, because for me, it'd be one thing if, like, Zeke and Levi fought last time and it was, like, neck and neck, and Levi, like, scooped out a win, like, out of, you know, his willpower alone or something. But, like, that's not what happened. Levi spanked this nigga. He spanked him 3 different ways for, like, 50 seconds straight, and it wasn't even, like, the Beast Titan literally didn't even touch him. And so my thing is, like, I just don't think the Beast Titan can take Levi one-on-one. I just don't. And so I don't think I think Zeke went in with a plan, and whether part of that plan involved trying to settle the score with Levi or it didn't, I don't know. But I think that plan is now altered because now he is at essentially Levi's mercy. I do think he's still alive, but I think Levi is, whether he's holding him at, you know, sword point or whatever you want to call it, like, out of some, I don't know, warrior's conduct or whatever. Because to be honest, I personally can't really think of any reason why Levi would even need to do that. But I'm just going to go off the gall and say that, like, they're not trying to kill the Beast Titan off screen or something. So that he's still alive somewhere. Levi's got him kidnapped or held hostage or whatever. And that now whatever his new plan, because I do think, because what you were bringing up before, I do think Zeke is not, like, 100% gung-ho on this side of, like, the Marleyans and fighting this war and trying to win it for the Marleyans. I don't. I think Zeke, especially now, his motives have been altered somewhat, but I think whatever the plan was going into this battle, again, has now been changed, and now he's going to have to sort of pull this, like, weird audible and, like, convince either Levi to get off his case somehow or convince Levi to do this thing with him because he's like, oh, well, Aaron, this and that. Because the other thing that I keep thinking about is the fact that, like, the scouts came here for Aaron to get him out of here. But, like, this plan was not a unanimous launch, right? Like, the scouts are still kind of pissed at Aaron for, like, the way he started this and the way this whole plan went down, because he essentially sprung this whole thing up, which caused them all to come into action. So I can imagine that Aaron is probably not anybody's favorite person right now, but obviously especially the Marleyans and all them. So maybe Zeke will, like, try to use that and some other knowledge that he has as leverage for Levi to be like, if you let me live, like, what? I don't know. I don't know what Zeke's plan could be now, I guess what I'm saying. But I'm sure he had some sort of plan to, like, beat Levi and, like, maybe take the Founding Titan and then go attack the Marleyans also, or whatever. I don't know. But I don't think, like, Zeke is pulling some long con big brain scheme, I guess is my theory.
Interesting. Gavin, what do you got?
I'm saying it's not probably true, or it's not true by any means. I don't know, but it would be interesting if how you were talking about Zeke's possible mind change mindset change that we don't know of. I think it would be crazy if by some stretch he completely almost flips sides and just has, like, a brewing hatred for Marleyan and Marleyans, and is, like, kind of using this almost as, like, an escape route, you know, out to then join, you know, because he is Eldian, so, like, almost be rejoined with his people in a sense, and, like, had a whole, like, chant. I don't know. I'm just saying it would be pretty weird if he, like, had just, like, had that, like, midlife crisis and is like, yeah, I'm switching sides, bro, and it's like,
you know what? I get it. I'm a Eldian now. Let's fuck him up.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I'm just saying that would be pretty wild. Like.
No, I mean, dude, there is something to it, though, right? Because, like I said, putting together some of the context clues from what we've seen in the 4th season specifically, right? It is in episode 2, I want to say, where they have the meeting in the room, and he says, don't talk about that in front of the brass, right? Or don't talk about that here, or something like that, right? And Theo, who is not dumb by any stretch, picks that up, right, when they're monitoring that. So that was the first clue. Then for me, the second clue was when he visits his grandparents in the ghettos, and they go, "You've done great things," and he goes, "No, not yet." Right, where it's like, okay, well, what great thing would you be doing? Now, you could argue that his initial plan to go get the Founding Titan, like that's when he feels validated, right? That's when I've done great things, etc. But the first clue that we gathered with "don't say that here" type thing, that's what kind of tilts me in the direction of it's not necessarily like I'm going to look great because I got the Founding Titan for Marley, and it's going to be, and it's something else, and I just don't know what that is. And then this summing it up, so obviously, I don't think him and Levi are in cahoots because I don't think they're in cahoots in the sense that that Levi and him were, communicating how a plan was going to work, right? Because like, how would they even communicate? I found that interesting. I don't know. But then again, Eren, this is one part. Now I'm digging down the rabbit hole, so I apologize. But there's the scene where Eren keeps on tossing the baseball, which to me was indicative of something to do with the Beast Titan, because he's always referencing baseball when he's talking about when he's throwing rocks. He goes perfect game, and he's referencing all these sorts of like baseball things. So I don't know if he was sending letters, but I'm going with the theory that they didn't know, but that Zeke knows something time-wise, that like that blimp is coming or something's going down, and he knows Levi's going to take the opportunity to do it and intentionally get himself captured to then talk his way into something, or be like, here's the deal with X thing. If we make a plan to do this, you have to guarantee this, that, and the third, and I will help you, or something. I think something's going down there.
I got something to add. Can be completely irrelevant. Don't kill me, but when Zeke crushed the rocks and he made that statement where he's like, "Eren's not my enemy," and then he throws him to the side and it takes out all those buildings surrounding him. Yeah. What if he's actually clearing out a space for that blimp to land to pick up Eren and friends, because he is in the vicinity of everyone, including the scouts and Eren? So, like, what if that actually is, like, allowing it to come down lower to then pick everybody up? Could be completely false, but it was interesting because he wasn't aiming it at someone. He literally just went, like, whoosh, took out the surrounding buildings, which could have had people in it, yes, but, like, almost irrelevant. Like, it just, the only other reason why I see he would do that would be to clear space for Levi to then use his ODM gear to get onto him. However, as we saw in the events, that was really irrelevant. He literally just still came up behind him and just
I'm not sure.
got him. So my thought is maybe clearing out a landing zone.
I could actually see something like that, because I do think, so my main problem with the Zeke's trying to pull an audible in the middle of this war and just switch sides is every nigga being like, "Oh, really? Now you want to switch sides? That's cute. Put a knife in this nigga's neck right now." Like, is that nobody would believe him or want to or care. So Zeke was going to have to do something then to prove that he's reliable, to prove that he can be trustworthy. Yeah. What better thing to do than throw a wrench in Marley's plan here to make sure that Eren and company can safely evacuate with as many people as possible. And then, again, as far as leverage is concerned, he's like, look, like it or not, you guys would not have gotten out there with as many people if it wasn't for me. I like you said, purposely did that to either skew it, because that's the other thing, is if you look at that, the way why he did that, it's like the only people that would be in those buildings, like, yeah, there were some soldiers, but there's also Marleyan citizens, right? Like, or
Well, the city's evacuated, but either way, it seems like just for something as the Beast Titan to be spending his resources or like movements, I feel like that was just the lowest thing on the totem pole compared to right in front of him, Eren and other, like, there's more, I feel like important things to be addressed,
especially with the way he singles out Levi. Like, I feel like Zeke was trying to make the play, right, that he's the commander, I'm the Beast Titan, I'm coming here to up. But again, if you look at any of his actions, they like weren't super like
they weren't indicative of it.
No, they weren't super helpful of somebody who was on the Marleyan side.
Sure. So that's the only thing I could see is if he was trying to destroy the cover that they may have had from Peek's guns, because they do seem to take refuge inside the buildings when Peek is firing the guns. Yeah. But like, that's even,
Yeah. But again, like, I don't know, I guess maybe might be thinking too specific, but like a broader, more vague attack by just throwing rocks anywhere versus a controlled assault on each building. Like, you know what I mean? That just makes more sense to me. So again, it felt, if you think about it, like he was stalling or like he was trying to like play this act. Yeah. And that's why in letting Levi take him down, that's his getaway. That's his cover.
And that's my thing. The only way I could see in my mind, unless I'm missing something, the only reason for him to say, Levi, you're running out of time, is that he knows what their plan is. Because why would he could have, okay, fair enough. He could have just said that in general, as in like, I'm going to destroy all the surrounding area here, and you're running out of time in the sense that you're not going to have much place to maneuver. If you want to make that argument, sure, it could be valid. But again, I just think the fact that there was no fight involved whatsoever when it did happen, to me, makes it seem like he somehow knows of this plan, or knows that it's like there's a time thing here. Because with the blimp, they're like, okay, we're going to blow up with the Colossus Titan. We're going to destroy their navy. We're going to come in with this blimp. We got X amount of time. And even Hanj says, any stragglers, like, they're beat, right? So they got on a very strict schedule here to fulfill this, which it's like, okay, Levi, you only have X amount of time to make whatever plan that you're going to do work. So if it's me, like, that's the only thing. It just, like, I feel like there's something to Zeke, and I don't know what it is.
What's weird about this show is it really is one of those shows that, like, rifle on the wall in Act 1, it's going to get fired in Act 3, is when he mentioned, right around the time he mentions the line about Levi's running out of time, there's, like, a specific POV shot of his that's meant to show you that, like, he's, like, losing, like, I don't even know, like he's, like, like, the vision gets really foggy. And it's, like, I'm assuming meant to show that, like, he's losing strength. He's losing, like, the ability to maintain the Beast Titan form. So I wonder if, like, him saying that to Levi was to bluff Levi to come out and do whatever he was going to do. But, like, in actuality, like, there's a double meaning to it. In actuality, he's saying that as in, like, it can also be applied to the fact that he was literally running out of time to stay in Beast Titan form.
Which is a valid thought, but what makes it not believable, but what is almost like a challenge to that is the fact that they also pan it to Levi, who is literally holding a pocket watch, looking at the time. And it's like, if you were to say something in a generic fight where it's like, oh, Levi, you're running out of time, or, oh, X person's running out of time, the first thing, like, the first thing they're going to do is come out. They're not going to pull out a stopwatch and be like, because they don't know what time it's going to go into. Like, you're looking at that watch for a specific time.
So keep in mind, we don't know where Zeke went when all the warriors got pulled before the speech started, because they took Peak and Porco, right? And then they took him somewhere else, but where did he go, right? So there might have been something where, if, with the blurry vision, where he is fully, like, he knows beforehand, going in before he transforms, because he kind of just, like, nonchalantly walks in there and he's like, kill them all, you know what I mean? And then he starts and it's like, yo, where'd you come from? Like, nice to meet you again, like, so I don't know if there's something with that where it's like, Levi, like, I'm going to, like, you're running out of time, as in, like, I'm going to drop here. Like, maybe there's some, like, crazy thing where he's, like, drugged.
Well, I think it's like, actually, I mean, yes, that could be totally a thing, but, like, I think it's just sort of like a classic bluff, right? Like, him being like, oh, Levi, you're running out of time, whether he's talking about the blimp that's coming to be their evac, or he's saying, like, you're running out of time to kill me if you really want to.
Oh, okay.
But again, it's a bluff. He also knows that he's really the one running out of time here. So he's pushing Levi because he knows he can't just wait this out.
Or if he is in cahoots with him with the blimp thing, that he's like, Levi, you're running out of time, but really Levi takes that as, oh, no, he's running out of time. You know what I mean? If he's like, if his vision's going blurry, like, I think.
I mean, his blurry vision
go either way.
I mean, we mentioned that the Beast Titan didn't move when he was getting attacked at all. So the blurry vision could have been him actually coming out of the beast form, and it's like, him, like, disassociating from it and, like, going back to himself and, like, maybe hopping off the body, and then that Levi takes out that shell more or less.
Yeah.
I know we mentioned that, where it's like, what if he actually managed to dip out before Levi even attacked it?
Well,
although
if he
highly unlikely.
If he dipped out, wouldn't, like, the body sort of like
it could just stay there,
collapse, or, like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Most of the times when they would come out the body, it, like, kind of, like,
out of the
dies
thing
down a little bit.
It could have.
But he was just like standing there until Levi took him down.
That's
so
true.
I think he was in the body.
I don't know. Yeah, there's something up, and we could talk for an hour about this. But the point is, if any of you in the comments want to share your opinions I would prefer you have not read the manga. If you're going to give a theory, obviously, because I don't want you to put it into a certain direction when you have that 20/20 vision. But if you have not read the manga, I'm curious to know what your predictions are. And if you have read the manga and you want to comment on it without spoiling anything, obviously, let us know your thoughts on our theories or whatever. So, yeah, on Zeke. So another thing I wanted to talk about is Aaron's incredible battle savviness, because first of all, he's just a straight up savage. Yeah. I was talking to Isaiah about this the other day, and I'm like, dude, first of all, Aaron is just badass, but, like, I love the Attack Titan too. Just like the physique of the Attack Titan and like the aesthetic, like how he looks, because he's just like so ugly and savage looking. He just looks raw. Like when he fights you, where it's like the Armor Titan has this like refinedness to his armor. Same thing with the female Titan. I mean, some of them are pretty ugly, like the Cart Titan, obviously. I already went off on that and stuff.
I mean,
but like
the Jaw Titan's not cute.
Yeah, no, but like there's something about Aaron's Titan that's just like very base form, and it's just like with his pointy ears, the whole nine. So like when he just cuts loose, dude, I love it. That's just a side note, sorry. But I did want to talk about the fact that he is able to instantly transform again, which is actually incredible, because we know that they can't, the amount of energy they expend means that they can't do that multiple times in a row. They got to wait for a while. So the fact that he's able to, he transformed what, like 3 times in that fight in the between the last 2 episodes. That's insane, because that was his cap before, and he was in like mid Titan, like he couldn't even make a full Titan. So the fact that he's able to just jump out and be like, whoop, whoop, you know what I mean? Incredible. And then how he uses the Jaw Titan, Porco, to crush the freaking Warhammer Titan.
So it's that's the kind of stuff that to me that's like super impressive on Aaron's bout, is that like the way he identified the Warhammer Titan's weakness very quickly with the whole plug thing. The way he saw that the Jaw Titan's nails was the only thing that could get through that crystal. So like his battle savviness, I guess you'd call it, or his like the way that he's able to analyze the battlefield and utilize people's strengths and weaknesses is like leagues above where Aaron was in like a season 2, let's say. And that, coupled with the stupid amount of power and training he's got with his own Titan form, has made him like, when we went into this, when this fight was starting, I was like, guys, Aaron's like pretty boss, but like Aaron against everybody, I do kind of think there's a route where Aaron could manhandle at least most of these dudes by himself, because he's just so, he's got like this shit feels like second nature to him. He's just got such a grip on like how all these Titans work, how his Titan powers work, how to use like that, coupled with the fact that like, I've said it before, and I know, like, you know, at this point, people are you're kind of, it's like, choose your side. Who you sympathizing with in here? Like, I am Camp Aaron, bro. Kill all these niggas. I want every single one of them dead. Me, Mikasa, and Armin are gonna go on a beach and just chill when this war is over. But until this war is over, to quote my boy, I do not stop. I will keep moving forward until I kill all them niggas. That's what he said. That was literally his words.
Yes, what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
Quote, Mark Twain.
And you might as well put that shit on my chest, because I'm a poster boy. I love that he's just like, take no prisoners. I am done talking. If you want to speak to me, you best be ready to beat me in a fight, because I'm coming for your nape.
Yeah, no, he's
I love it.
He's crazy. He's savage, man. He's totally savage. He's calm, cool, collected, but he's been able to channel that aggression in such a way now where it's like that, along with his, you know, mental fortitude and his smarts, because he's not stupid, obviously, especially when it comes to battlefield savvy. Like you said, this is second nature, combines to make a deadly weapon. Like, it is insane. But now he's the Warhammer Titan too. So like, that's insane, because we were talking, I was saying during the reaction, I'm like, or I was saying at some point, I'm like, dude, this Warhammer Titan is just like insane. Like, it could just attack from the crystal, like Gara with the sand thing. You know what I mean? Like, crazy. Now he has that. Dog, like what's happening?
Now, so
here?
I wonder if that means he like can confuse the Warhammer Titan with the Attack Titan, or if he can literally like spawn himself in the Attack Titan and spawn the Warhammer Titan separate.
I think it's a combined thing. That's my guess. I don't think he could do 2, but
I feel like what it's gonna look like is his normal, normal Titan self, but with the crystal, like crystal, the hardening,
armor,
like he's gonna maybe do some armor, and like he's gonna create the hammer, but it's gonna be of that crystal, so like it stays true to his original form, but it's gonna be like a little buffed up, because I don't think they would drastically change it that bad.
Well, okay, that makes sense. My only thing is it kind of nullifies one of the strengths of the Warhammer Titan, which is being able to separate yourself from the physical Titan. So even if someone hits the nape, like, because that means that Aaron's nape is still his weakness.
Well,
there.
He does have some armor,
unless they blend, where he is actually inside of his Titan form, but crystallized around him. So
crystal?
like he's in the shell in the Titan. So it's like double OP. You know what I mean? Like
maybe
he's mobile and
what I've gotten, and I mean, it's kind of a weird example, because the founding Titan is the most, maybe unique's not the right word, but the most
insane,
insane, but conflicting and confusing to work, I guess, right? In the sense that it's like, you gotta have the royal blood to use it efficiently, and this, that, and the third. There's a bunch of stipulations.
Most like unpredictable.
In the sense, so it's like Aaron, I don't know if it's a fact of like Eren when he eats another Titan that isn't his OG Titan, so i.e. Attack Titan, if like even though he eats them, he doesn't obtain every single power that they have on the rip. It's like kind of a dumbed down version of it where it's like you're just putting like a chunk of like an extra like equipment piece, you know what I mean, on him. And it's like, okay, I got like these abilities, but I'm not just, I can't just like straight up be the Warhammer Titan. Like I have to do it. Not only that, he has to get acclimated with it too, where it's like, being that this show is on its last season, like I would also have to wager that when you assume the power of a new Titan, it takes you years to fully understand the intricacies of that Titan. You know what I mean? And like some people could probably pick it up faster than others, but like he might not be able to do it so quickly on a dime. Like at least to the extent that like a real a Tiber family Warhammer user would be. Like he's gonna be great with it because Eren's very gifted when it comes to that. Reiner even makes a comment when he learns the hardening that he's like, "Holy crap, he learned it that fast!" Like, he still had to go through the training and all that nine. So I don't know. I don't know if it's that.
But I wonder if that training, like obviously every Titan's different, so there's like different mindsets, I guess, for how they work. But it's like I wonder if like the training is like training to learn how to like use a Titan. And once you do that, it's arguably just like putting a different set of buttons in front of you. But like he'll still be able to innately or instinctively. You know what it is though, where I do understand that. But I think the thing specifically with the Warhammer and the Founding Titan that throws a wrench into it as compared to like Armored or if he ate some other one is that their powers are so specific to those Titans. If if you're Armored Titan and you get Warhammer Titan, like you're like, oh, I've never used hardening like this before. Like I know what it is to control a Titan, but I how the frick do I spawn a hammer out of thin air? You know what I mean? Or like how do I mind control people if I'm like, I think there's like a lot of intricacies.
Not only that,
Titan.
but how many times did the Tiber girl change her form? Like twice,
I think.
And you think how many years she's had that Warhammer Titan ability, and she was only able. Eren did it more than her, so you know that innately it takes a ton of energy to use it. So like being a newcomer to it, someone who's been using it for X amount of years can only do it 2 times. So like Eren's probably like a one and done, just off the rip with it, with no training. So I don't know.
But I feel like I understand that. I don't know, but I feel like there's something about like Eren where it's like Eren is tapped in, or I was saying this before in the reaction, maybe like the Founding Titan is what gives him this like regenerating like ability to utilize like Titan shifting more than like most people. Because I feel like regardless how many years the other Titan shifters have had their Titans, like you comparing, Eren still had less time than like, let's say, Eren has been the Attack Titan less than like a Zeke or like a I'm forgetting her name now, the cart.
Oh, Peak.
But like Eren can use them or use his Titan shifting abilities far more than them without getting as tired.
Yeah,
so there's got to be some stipulation where he can use Titan.
I actually think that's through immense training, personally. I think that it's like Eren goes so freaking ham on what he does because I feel like a lot of the kids and the children, when, with their Titans and stuff like that, like a lot of the training, like they obviously train throughout their lives, but it's like once they get, I say master loosely, but once they get a proficient use on their Titans, I don't know if they're necessarily going through being like, okay, let's have our training today where you keep on like transforming repeatedly. You know what I mean? Like something like that, because it's like, I don't think there'd be many situations in where, that's imperative, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I think Eren just is kind of bullheaded in the sense that like, he goes ham when it comes to that training. Like we see him overcome these insane obstacles. So I feel like maybe there's something to that, but I do feel like Eren like has been getting ready for this moment for like quite a while now. So like the best weapon he has is his Attack Titan. So like becoming one with that Attack Titan, like literally melding them into the same person, like ins and outs, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I know everything there is to know about this Attack Titan because it's the best weapon I have, so I'm going to make it as consistent as possible. I don't know. That's my prediction, but I could be wrong. But I don't know. What else do we want to talk about on here?
Bro, I want to talk about my man Armin because
hit me.
Not only was that nuke insane, however, what I am curious about is when we actually get to see more of him, especially with Eren, if they ever, kind of meet up on that blimpy blimp and have like a huggy hug. Because what got me, our mindset wasn't off when we talk about him in terms of coming out of the Colossal Titan. He looks down and sees, a kid trapped under a building, and it looks like it's a shock to him. It's a shock to his system. You know that he isn't really about what's going on, and that it's taking a toll on his psyche. So I'm curious on how when Eren comes back and they have this conversation, because at the end of the day, even though Armin is going to be messed up a little bit psychologically and isn't happy with it, he is willing to go along with Eren's plan because he is accepting what needs to be done in a sense and is following through with it. I'm just wondering if he is going to reach a point, which is now seeing this kid where he's like, I want to dial it back. I want to see how it messes with him. If he's going to continue just being strung along, is he going to kind of try to step back and be like, I'm not about this, and that's going to create conflict for Eren and gang?
Yo, here we go.
I don't know, man.
Hot take, no evidence at all, probably won't happen. But Eren eats all of the Titans except Armin, and then it's some crazy thing where he wants to be like all of them. You know what I mean? Like for whatever reason, it has to happen. Then he's got to fight Armin. That'd be crazy.
That would be nuts. I think so. One of the things that I did find really interesting about the whole Armin's introduction, one is he's just a nuke. He's a literal nuke. A nuclear bomb went off when he transformed, and everybody that was remotely within range is dead or wishes they were dead now.
Gonna grow a third arm.
Yeah. But when he comes out of the Colossal Titan, he makes a reference to Bertholdt in his memories, which obviously he's seen. But I think the psychological toll that, let's say, having the attack and maybe even the Founding Titan that Eren's had on him
thinking the same
is
thing.
different than Armin's, because where Eren has been transforming into this Attack Titan and even going through the Attack Titan's memories, he's like, oh, this I get it. All this Titan has wanted is freedom. I am free. I have to be this symbol of freedom. I have to fight. I'm always fighting. And so it's given Eren this fight or flight survival instinct mode that's again, that becomes second nature with his own personality, where it's he doesn't see innocents, civilians, soldiers, he just sees enemies. That's it.
Yeah.
So he becomes incredibly one-track minded, where Armin and anybody who has a Colossal Titan, when you transform, you don't transform to fight. You just transform, and then there's death. That's it.
Literally.
Said in
a god of destruction.
You transform, and that's your attack.
Yep.
Armin doesn't get to fight for his life when he's Armin just takes lives.
Yeah.
The Colossal Titan, all he does is kill people. So Armin, I think what the damage that's going to be done to Armin's mind is is constantly transforming and knowing that every time he does that, he's just taking lives. It's they don't get a say in it. They don't get to fight for their lives. He's just going to take them.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think you hit the nail on the head there, and I was thinking the same thing. And it's you're becoming God. It's you don't actually have a challenger. So unless some crazy situation, but I mean, let's be honest, how often has that ever happened? You don't have a challenger. So it's it's weird in the sense that some of the other Titans have this this it's you or it's me thing, right? Where it's they are putting their lives on the line in a sense when they're fighting other Titans on a way more real scale than when Armin transforms or whoever wields the Colossal Titan, where exactly what you were saying, when you're in it, it's just a matter of when you feel like getting out of it or are forced to get out of it. But until that time happens, everyone in your path is dead. There is no fighting back. So it's almost, bearing the burden of being a god, you know what I mean? And just crushing people with no semblance. I know I'm fine, you know what I mean? But I'm just I'm walking. All these people are dying. And it's that takes a huge toll. When he was saying with Bertholdt, oh, so this is what you saw when you were the Colossal Titan, when you kick down the wall in the first episode, you know what I mean? This is the kind of death that you see every time you transform. Of course, it's going to take huge tolls, on the psyche there. That was interesting. I also want to point out, I love how Armin gave respect to the boy Erwin Smith, and that when Hanj is you came up with a wacky plan, you really embody Erwin, and he's I hope I could live up to it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, and I'm really curious to see that spirit live on in a sense, but transformed a little bit more and guided towards the light, you know what I mean? A little bit more through Armin. And Armin might wind up being one of my favorite characters by the end of this.
We know with the end of season 3, that was their whole gamble, right? Erwin, in his literal last lines, implies that Armin is the better choice because, like you said, Armin is someone who's always going to look to hope instead of, or look to light instead of the darkness. And, and maybe somebody who is not willing to go in to that, to choose the side of the devil or do the dark deed is somebody that we want in the limelight and not, anyone else. And I think, But I think like that was the point because Levi even, he makes the line or has the conversation with Armin after he gets revived where he's like, Armin's like, I don't know why you chose me. And Levi, paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly, but he says something along the lines of basically like, we chose you because we think that, if anybody could possibly, like if there's a world where anybody could, live up to Erwin, like it's you. So prove it. Like become the kind of person that Erwin was in terms of like the kind of leader he was. So like, and so I do think it's interesting that this whole plan seemingly was Armin's plan. And it was made, with the sort of tactical awareness that Erwin had, you know what I mean? And it's like, and there is a level of, and I like it in this plan and even the plan to take down the Colossal Titan, because it literally required Armin to give up his life.
Yeah.
There's a bit of like ballsiness to these plans, they're not do this and we're fine. It's like, if we're going to do this, but if one thing goes wrong, like at least 30 of us are, and it's like, it's crazy, but
for sure. I'm just so curious to see where we go from here, in the sense that it's like they can't fight a full-scale war, you know what I mean, all the time, really, like, at all. And now that the nations are united against them, this was the best attack they were going to get, right? Yeah. They have to take as much loot as they possibly can on this attack to gear up to not get slaughtered. That's if Eren releases the Titans or whatever. But, like, I'm curious to see where they go from here. If they extract the people, what Zeke's role is, if there is one, if they go back to the island, what's their strategy here, what sort of internal conflicts happen, like where the show goes. Because we're on episode 7. By next episode, I'm assuming that like the battle's done. Could be wrong there, but it looks like Eren is held at gunpoint or something at one point by like Gabby and gang. It looks like they catch him. So it's like, okay, is he just giving himself up now? What the hell is happening? We have, a half of a show left to figure out where we go from here. I'm very curious to see what goes down, how it goes down. I don't know if you guys have any predictions on that.
So I could be remembering this wrong, but in the preview for the next episode, I don't think that was like Gabby and some of her company holding Eren at gunpoint. I think that was like Gabby and company and Jean and some of the other scouts holding guns at each other over Eren's body. As in Gabby and company wanted to get Eren.
I'm sorry.
Okay. A, remember that the scouts are here for Eren.
Yeah.
B, again, they're probably not his biggest fan in terms of like, Eren, good job, buddy. Like, think, what the did you just do? So like, I think, but obviously they're not going to let Gabby and company take them. So I think they were gunning for each other, being like, yo, back off. Eren's ours. And Gabby's like,
okay. But like, here's my logical argument. Then it goes to Gabby.
It's like, see what we're doing over there. But I do think, I think they were. It was a stalemate between the two sides, because I think Gabby, wherever Eren ends up, however he ends up there, because I'm assuming, I guess he gets knocked the fuck out or something. Because Eren kind of seems like he's winning right now. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who puts him on the ground, but whatever. I'm guessing Gabby finds him, and then Jean or whoever. I just noticed the uniform. I don't know if it's Jean specifically, or maybe it's Mikasa. I don't know. But somebody finds him also and is like, yo. So, but what I find interesting is that the next episode is called Assassin's Bullet. So, what do we think is getting iced next episode? And why do we think it's Sasha?
Bro, I will kill you. Sasha is not only the G'est of G's, she
might be
is
the one
number
firing
one
the
waifu,
shot, dude.
And she better shoot them shots, because she slid into that guy's DM and he didn't survive. So that means there's open room, Sasha.
Oh my God, yo, what if Gabby goes to shoot somebody, and then right before she can pull the trigger, Sasha snipes her from like 90 yards away, and is like, I got you.
She goes, F them kids.
And then Eren's on the ground like,
dude, I don't know.
That's crazy. I don't know. I think let's be honest. I think Gabby's definitely going to try and kill somebody.
Sure.
I don't actually know if she's going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to be real. The only two people who I could see killing someone based off the title of that episode are actually Sasha and Gabby, because Gabby has a gun in her hands, and Sasha has headshotted like 5 people in a row. She's a whiz with a gun. So I'm just like, okay, these are the only two people I could see as assassins right now with a gun.
That's true.
I don't know. I don't think it's like centered around.
Well, don't
I
forget,
don't know.
you mentioned in that little preview thing, the ODM gear has little pistols in them.
True.
So that could play a role going into the next
Everyone's
episode.
a killer, man.
Everyone's
Who
a
do you
killer.
trust?
Everyone's got guns. Everyone's a killer. I don't know, man. I think, well, obviously Aaron's got to stay, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What if he dies?
Yeah.
Like, what if by some weird events he dies? Like, a random Titan just swoops down, eats him, and
Yeah,
then,
then-
like, the
well,
new
then-
protagonist.
We don't have a show.
Levi
have a show.
better get turned into a Titan and eat Aaron's dead body so that he because then I stop watching.
We're going off the rails here.
Yeah.
Who do we think Gabby's killing is the thing.
I actually think she's not going to kill anybody because I
don't
do
think so?
think
Okay.
that some of the scouts and stuff are obviously going to die, but I think it's going to happen later in these episodes, and I think it's going to happen. It's going to be like a all in one fell swoop situation where it's not going to be like, oh, Sasha gets picked off, and then 2 episodes later, Connie gets picked off, and I feel like they're going to like lead us into being like, oh man, they made it out of that crazy scenario, and
then
get back to,
everyone
like,
dies.
paradise, and
Yeah, I actually,
gets stomped.
here's my crazy with no evidence prediction is that, because I just love spewing these. Okay, ready?
Okay.
They get out of this situation, but actually the reason they wind up dying is because they internally start killing each other because of whatever reasons. Like Aaron's just gone off the rails. Like,
Oh,
it's like,
really?
and people that side with him, maybe.
well, so okay,
I'm kidding. I have no evidence for that.
The only reason I think that
Somebody
would
else
work
talk,
is
I'm pulling
because
stuff
they're
out of my
like,
ass.
is if the United Nations are at their door, they're like, oh, we got to fight a whole army. Let's also fight each other. It's like, guys, let's just keep it together until they leave.
You're 110% correct. I literally just pulled that out of my ass. I have no clue what I'm talking
I do,
about.
though, like the idea because Aaron obviously did this, without consent, and I'm sure there are some scouts that would like to have a word with Aaron. It's probably not very nice. He's going to have some enemies back home. Like, he's going to have some people who are like, bro, what the like, why did you do? You didn't call anybody. You didn't text us. Like, we didn't know you were just going to bomb fucking Marley's headquarters.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know, all I know is that, and I think it's going to be Levi specifically, because I think, obviously, as much of a G as Levi is, like, he's also very, he don't take shit. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. You're mad? That's why you did all that? Because you're upset? I'm correct.
Remember when he slapped him and knocked his front row teeth out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. Or he kicked him. He was like tied down.
Yeah, he like
beat
bitch slapped him so hard his teeth fell
Dude,
out. I
Levi's
was like,
not afraid to discipline a nigga if need be.
No.
I think they're going to drag Aaron back to that
Crazy.
thing, and Levi's going to be like, it's time to set this kid straight. Because clearly, now you got 3 Titans, you think you're the shit or something.
let me teach you a little thing or two about life here. No,
man.
I don't know. I think the name of the episode obviously has to have some relevance. So I think if there's an assassin's bullet, here's my thing. I think that Gabby kills. If we have to pick a character,
Who's the one you hate?
she kills Mikasa.
I was on that. Wait.
Wow.
I want an
Yeah.
explanation before you go off because that was my
Let me just move
thought.
away from Ian.
So-
Really, he's not
Well,
an
don't get
actual
your hopes
Mikasa
up.
stan.
No, I am.
No, but
so I say that begrudgingly, but
No, I do too, but I was actually waiting for it because I have an explanation of how this would happen. So
take it away because I have none.
Make it make sense.
Oh, you actually don't lie. Wait, you
No,
actually don't have
I
one?
do.
Okay.
I have a feeling. But
So
go ahead.
my thought is if that scene that you're referring to when Gabby and company and whoever else scout-wise is there and they're holding guns, like a gun to Aaron, I feel like Gabby actually might try to pull off a shot and Mikasa actually jumps in
takes
front
the
and
bullet
takes
for
the
Aaron.
bullet
Yeah.
for Aaron. And not only that, it would almost set the stage for like more hatred for Aaron against them and like boil into just more craziness. I actually think that could possibly happen. I don't know because Gabby we know is crazy enough and she said I'm going to kill Aaron. Like I feel like she's going to try to shoot him and Mikasa is definitely the girl who was going to take one for the team and like
No,
it's just her
that's-
character. So
yeah.
I definitely feel like that could happen.
No, that's a very good prediction. And on similar guidelines, though, I do think that maybe not that exactly it was going to be she jumps in front of a bullet or something, but I was thinking of it more in the sense of that this story doesn't end well. It can't. I'm just like, if there's some like hunky-dory happy ending, like there's no way, right? So it's like, that's going to involve some sort of death and from people that we don't want to die, right? That are coming close. Obviously, at the end of it, Aaron has to die because you only get 13 years as a Titan. So we know that, right? I do think that to perpetuate that hatred or that, I'm going to go forward and now we have to deal with Aaron's psyche. And I think that's going to be a big thing where it's like if Mikasa bites it because of Aaron's forwardness in enacting this mission and being like, I'm going through with this. And now it's like you got the girl who really loves you killed. You know what I'm saying? In that scenario, I think that could play a part. And now it's like Aaron's like, okay, what do I do from here? I have all this rage. What do I aim it at? The world? You know what I mean? At this point, you know, I'm like, I have these Titans. Here's this war, but it's like I don't even like I'm losing the people that were the closest to me, you know, in that scenario anyway. So it's just like kind of this unraveling where maybe it's not this like crazy hatred where it's like the revenge thing where it's like I'm gonna kill all the Titans thing anymore. It's more of like we've seen Aaron's like a more like just kind of monotone, like just collected, but like, you know, understands what has to be done type thing. But I don't know. I think Mikasa dying.
She can't die, bro.
What's that?
She can't. I'm gonna kill Gabby. If she dies, I'm going into this show and I'm gonna kill Gabby.
Done.
You still have Sasha. It's okay.
Yeah, Sasha. That's cool.
The number one.
All right, relax there, Gavin. We should get throw a potato at her head.
Hey man, they can do some damage.
Imagine Gabby's like about to take the shot and just she gets nailed with a potato at like 100 miles an hour, and Sasha's like,
assassin's bullet. Yeah,
I told you, always have a potato on you.
No, I don't know. I really, we don't have enough information, but listen, we've had fun with this conversation. It went off the rails a little bit. We had some funny moments.
As the good ones do.
As the good ones do. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We appreciate anyone who has stuck around at this point, genuinely wants to hear our thoughts, predictions. Hopefully you guys gleaned something from it. But if you did and you're new here, make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, like the video so that we know you like it. Share with your friends, comment your thoughts down below, etc. Big shout out to our patrons too that make all this possible. Special shout out to Stoic and Nathan who are in our Acolyte of Anime tier. Really goes a long way. Your support is overwhelming and we thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Also, our merch line, you have about a week left to take advantage of this deal. 20% off of everything in the AoA merch shop.
Correct.
With the code AOA 2021 at the checkout. If you type that in, 20% off your order. That goes until the end of January. Again, that is AOA 2021 to cop some sweet AOA merch. Like the shirt here, like that shirt there, like hoodies, like leggings, like joggers. It's all there. Sweatshirts, the whole nine. I just got my girlfriend a sweatshirt. One of the red one, all red one. It's so that's one of my favorite ones. It's so comfortable. I have that one too, and she's like, "This is so comfortable." But yeah, cop it, 20% off AOA 2021 there. Beautiful. And if you made it to the end of this episode, help me out here. What's the question?
Yeah, I have a. All right, so answer this question in the comments, and then write your comment, and we'll read the next comment at the beginning of the next week's Attack on Titan discussion. Yeah. So the question is, what was the name of the person who owned the Attack Titan before Grisha?
Okay. Ooh. Yes. Good one. So anyone who has made it to the end of this video will know that if that's the first thing before your comment, whatever the answer is, and then your comment, that you made it till the end of this episode, and then we might just read one of your comments.
Yeah, it might be featured in one of the episodes.
Yep. So you want to tune in, you know? And I'm looking at that camera, and
I
that's the
literally
camera.
was just doing the same thing. I'm like, huh? Nope, wrong camera.
Wrong camera. My bad. Welcome to production.
Sorry, not you. You.
This camera's always usually dead, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised it even made it this long.
It's all good.
Anyway, before it does die, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We love you all. Let's get into some more Attack on Titan. I am so excited for the weeks to come here, and we'll catch you on the flip. Peace.
Peace.
Ninjas and samurais, blazing the kunais. Find me in the leaf of the cloud, screaming out Bankai. We just some ghouls though, who like seeing parts fly.